Donald J. Brower, GardnerStateHSWrestling.com Near Fall Podcast. It's a day after the groups, a day late, $17 short if you bought the Dippin' Dots and a drink like I did. Don't even get me started on that, but great showing down at Rutgers at the Jersey Mike's Arena. Horrible parking situation. That's a whole nother thing. But got a chance to go down there, but talk to some winners. Even got an interview with one of the losing coaches, which usually they're not, too gracious when it's like that. You don't want to step on their toes, but he was very nice as he came over. But before we get to that, we got to get to the man who got us here through all the season, Dan Warnikoff, champion athletes. I said this before, I'll say it again. Your body, especially if you're an athlete, is your vehicle. You're not going to go put the cheap gas in it. Dan will help you with his meal plans to get to the weight you need to be. Dan is the man. He's helped us so much this year. He's a big proponent of what I do. And I wouldn't vouch. There's other people who will take money. I vouch for Dan. Dan Warnikoff knows what he's talking about. So champion athletes, Dan Warnikoff, and the Harrington companies. Big sponsors for us this year, the Harrington family, Construction, Recycling, and Hoffman Landscaping. Thank you guys so much for your support this year. That you've been able to bring some live streams to them. So if you have anything in the area you need done with recycling, landscaping, or construction, please give Harrington a call. Thank you. Now, we talked about the groups. I got a chance to see some really good matchups there. I even get to call one for NJ.com, which, spoiler alert, I heard he did a pretty good job, and I might be up for a local Emmy. I don't know if that's true or not. But the first match that finished up down there was the Group 2 championship. High Point walks away with another one. I wasn't stunned. They wrestled a really good Governor Livingston team. I just was shocked because they lowered their lineup so much that they didn't have a great record in the regular season, right around 500. But the proven ability of Coach Gardner to get his team on track was obvious here. So I got a chance to catch up with Coach Gardner and Roman Citro, who had a big moment in the match. We grabbed a quick audio interview here. They're right now.
John, talk to me really about the feeling here. Obviously, you've been with the program a long time. 7th group title. What can you say about this one?
You know what? It never gets old. The kids that wrestled today were a whole lot different than the kids who started the season. And I'd like to think as coaches we had a little bit to do with that. I know our schedule did. I know the support we received from our school and our fans. It's tremendous. And the kids realize when you wrestle for High Point, there's certain expectations that go along with it. So I'm just glad the kids performed well today.
Talking about those expectations, I know when we spoke at the beginning of the year, not a real name piece to the team this year. You lost to Saldana, you had the Francovillas and the Pastor Smith. This is more of a team effort this year. Just talk about how they came together, because I know that was one of the things you were talking about, the seniors doing the extra work in the offseason and how that paid off for you guys today.
Yeah, our kids, and you take a look at the group we had, and we knew there weren't a lot of people coming back from last year. But we did have some quality young kids that were able to step in, right? And they kind of jumped right in line with all the older kids. You go through dual meets that all you can try to do is put out the best 14 that you can. And I'm just glad that our team was capable and ready to perform today.
John, when you really, you're not one to pinpoint a team in your career which is the best. And where would you say this one is compared to the last previous ones?
They're special. We've had a lot of really good teams that didn't win a group title. So, it's impossible to say where they are in terms of what we have, but the results are what they are, and that's never going to change. In 2023, High Point won the Group 2 state title, and that's never going to change. So for that, they're special. Thank you.
Talk a little bit about Citro. I know last year we were down in Franklin. He wasn't happy. You guys lost. He was kind of took that under fire. For him to be the one to seal it for you guys, just kind of him as a kid and what he's meant to your program.
You know what? Roman and all of our seniors, really, they're kids that have stepped up to the plate. And Roman's been a kid who's been around his whole life. His dad has coached our youth program, right? His brother's involved with the program. he's been around, quite honestly, as long as I can remember. It's nice when you have a situation where you can have one of your guys go out and seal it, and I'm very happy it was Roman today.
John, thank you, man. Congratulations. Just talk about this feeling. I know going out there, you guys were down in Franklin last year, didn't get it done. You guys come in here, you win it. Just talk about this.
Yeah, it's definitely one all the seniors and all the people on the team last year have been looking forward to. We've been working so hard in the room every day leading up to this point, so it feels nice to get the job done for sure.
Now, obviously, you win it going out there with the big pin. Yeah. Just your crowd erupted. I know everybody talked about this year. You guys lost Saldana, you lost some quality guys, but you brought back some really good wrestlers. Not the regular season you guys wanted, but you come down here and show that High Point isn't going anywhere. Yeah. Just that feeling knowing you're walking out of here a champion.
Oh, it's awesome. And I know our coaches do a great job of preparing us to get to here. We wrestle some hammers during the regular season, so when we get to this point, it prepares us for whoever we wrestle, and it feels great. It's unbelievable. Now, talk about them going to Livingston, quality team, make a surprise run here. Just matching up with them and how you felt you guys could do. Because obviously you come down here thinking you're going to win or you wouldn't show up. Was there anything like you guys knew you needed to win at certain matches, or were just going to do your battle? I don't really know. All our coaches really work on that stuff, but I know we had a couple guys go out there. Our 106-pounder Johnny Barron lost to that kid earlier on in the year. Dalton Yetter getting a big pin at 175. Great for those guys, absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank
you so much, Coach Gardner and Roman. Really enjoyed talking to them, and just kind of the adulation from Roman, because he was one down there last year when they were in Franklin. They lost to Raritan. And I just know, just seeing the opposite ends of the spectrum for him emotionally was a big thing for me. Now, the next one we had finish up down there was the Group 4 championship. We covered the Group 4 semifinals when Jackson Memorial beat Mount Olive on Friday. Wasn't really a big fan, on a personal note, of some of the Jackson Memorial coaches. They seemed to kind of cry and whine about stalling and every little thing. It was kind of over the top. But North Hunterdon goes down there and wins. Not that anything North had a chance. There was a lot of made about North losing some really good wrestlers, but a lot of the wrestlers who came back stepped up, and one wrestler we weren't expecting to step up was the one who actually sealed it, was Jack Van Doren, who had a great run. I got a chance to catch up with Coach Hrunka. Brandon Raley, who bumped up and beat a state-ranked heavyweight, number 4 in the state, beat him in the heavyweight match to help turn the tide, and Van Doren. Let's go to those interviews right now.
Talk a little bit about this team. I know when we talked earlier in the year, you were seeing if guys were going to fall in the right spots. Here you are hosting a championship at the end. Just kind of talk about the journey of this team.
I mean, it's been long. It's been long. We have some unsung heroes out there and some kids that stepped up in big ways, and we have kids who just have grinded all season, and they didn't have a lot of success individually, but they've been getting there. And the last 2 weeks, they've really turned it on, and a kid who's 5 and 15 for us, or 18, all of a sudden they're in a match with a kid that's got 20 matches, and that's the difference. They improved, they got better, and they stayed confident. And one of the things we always harp on is we're in better shape than everybody. We run more than most teams. And, we're basically like a track team out there every year, and our kids are in shape and they're ready to wrestle. So.
You talking about Van Doren, or?
No, just
in general.
He was talking about the team in general.
Did his father wrestle?
Yes, he did.
He was a state champ, right?
2-time state champ, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was a hell of an effort by him,
Yeah, he had some struggles early on. He's only actually wrestled 3 matches for us all season.
Okay, I didn't recognize the name.
And he lost all 3 of them.
He was 0-3 going into this.
He was. He's kind of had some struggles, whether, with the sport a little bit, and he's kind of been in and out a little. And, this was a big spot, and we weren't really sure we were going to use him, but when the match was going to come down to it, we've been coaching that kid since he was, 7 years old, 8 years old. So we looked at the coaches and we said, if we need someone to win it, it's going to be him. Let's go. Let's send him.
What year is it?
He's a senior.
Wow.
And talk a little bit about the decision to bump Raley up. I know you wanted to get some points there. State medalist of Raleigh coming back to go counter their guy who's undefeated. Just what was your thought process of just kind of going in there because you wanted to neutralize him to come out with the win, how big that was?
We knew we probably needed 8 wins to beat him, we thought. And there's not a lot of places to find him against that team. They're a solid lineup. And it was one of those, you got to trust your state place winner to go beat a stud sometimes. And I mean, that was our philosophy with all these matches. Here it was, hey, let's go smash heads, put our best on their best, and let's see how good they are because we believe in our guys. So
Now, obviously, your undefeated team was loaded.
Yeah.
Does this make it a little kind of special to do it with some guys?
I mean, it does because I mean, if you asked us in the beginning of the year if we thought this was going to be what happens, we'd have probably laughed a little bit. I mean, we knew they were possible, but we knew a lot of work had to be done to get there. And that 2020 team was special in its own right. That was just floor to ceiling, solid wrestlers, great kids. That was something special. This is different, but hey, anytime you can win a state championship, it's special.
And you bring a couple kids from that 2020 team with Wade and those guys. Just what it means for those seniors who are really good, solid hammers.
Four of our seniors here who are just been in the lineup since their freshman year. They've won three sectional titles, 2 state titles, and and 2021 when they had a good shot at winning another sectional title and a group title again, it wasn't there. So we didn't have it. So they're a team that's been capable of doing that for a while. So
It's been fun. Talk about this a little bit. The decision to bump you up and wrestle a kid who undefeated for Jackson Memorial, a heavyweight, giving up some weight. What was going through your mindset out there, just kind of going out there to wrestle him?
Just confidence. I can't let the mental weakness go in, kind of mess up my game plan. My game plan was to kind of rely on my conditioning and kind of wear him out through the match. He's a big boy compared to me, giving up a lot of weight. So just kind of wearing him out and focusing on my technique.
Was that kind of what it was when he was on top, when he kind of held you down? He seemed like he was like, I don't want to say engulfing you because he's such a big guy.
Yeah.
Was you just kind of waiting for your opportunity in that situation?
Yeah, I was waiting there, but to be completely honest, it was pretty hard to get. I mean, I shot up a couple times to stand-ups, but he mat returned me pretty good. But just the repetitive of that probably wore him out more, and kind of not relying on the stall calls, but kind of strategically kind of trying to place them within the match, pushing the pace, kind of dictating how the match was going. And then when I saw my opportunity, I took it.
Now, finally, you're a name that's associated with the program. Wade's associated. You're Eniac, all those guys. Van Doren to go out and clinch it for you guys. How big was that for you? Especially, him being in the room, his record coming in. Just how big was that for you guys?
That was extremely big. No one was really expecting him. He came back from an injury like this past week. He hasn't really wrestled many matches. So that was huge. And it's just showing that North's not done yet. We're still here. We're still wrestling. We're ready for next year too.
Was that kind of the emphasis? Because we were talking to your coach. Obviously, 2 years ago, you guys had a loaded team. Lost some. There were people talking about, maybe North's taking a step back. You lost some good guys from last year, including Nathan. You guys come out and make a statement, show North's still here. Is that what you guys are trying to do and pass on?
Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to pass on.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. Talk about this win. Obviously, North comes out the most unlikeliest of heroes. This is a script I don't even think Hollywood could write.
Yeah.
Just kind of talk about winning that match and what it means for you personally.
I mean, just everyone wrote us off as a team in the beginning of the season, said we had nothing left in our talent. Graduation hit us hard. And I was like, that doesn't matter because we still go in there and we work hard every single day. And I was just thinking the whole time, I'm like, if I go out there one of the last, I can do it just because I know I'm in better shape than a lot of people out there. And if it happens, it does. And if it doesn't, you just got to keep living. But today I just had a little bit extra in me to win it for them because they've always been there for me.
Yeah, you're in your dog fight there. You could have got pinned early. You fight off and you go back. You start taking control. As you go to overtime and you see you have a chance to win it, and you kind of see the excitement building on your sideline, what's going through your head?
I was just like, they're here for me. I'm always there for them. They're going to have my back no matter what happens. And I know I can do it. That's all I was thinking that whole time. I just need that one shot and I can win.
Now the seconds are ticking off. You win in overtime. The excitement. You guys are state champions. That feeling, like, you know what I mean? Because most people don't know it, and when you think of North, like you said, a lot of people were like, oh, they lost this guy, they lost that guy, can they come back?
Yeah.
And even in the beginning of the year, you guys weren't sure. So complete this arc, just how that made the feel for you right now.
It's amazing. There's no better feeling than this. I mean, we had one when I was a freshman as well, but now that I'm a senior, it means a lot more to me because it's like, since I got back so recently, I'm not going to be able to go to districts or regions or anything, so I'm like, let's leave it all on the mat here today, and let's win it.
thank you so much, Coach Hrunka and your wrestlers. You guys are always gracious with what we do. And I'm always, people ask me if I root. I like North Hunterdon, and I like the guys and who I've seen down there. And, I got a certain podcasting legend who went there, so I kind of know a lot of the people. So I'm really happy that they won. And it was, good to see them and good to get down there and just enjoy and just be silent. I snuck down a little bit because it was at the end of the first session and kind of got to sit behind the bench and just saw the range of emotions. Amazing win. And congratulations to the North Hunterdon wrestling community. Now, the one I got to call, last minute edition. For those of you who may not know, I used to work for the Star Ledger back in the day before I started this. And I was just happened to be there talking. And I mentioned to Chris Fatok, who runs New Jersey Advanced Media, who I'd worked with in the past. Hey, if you ever need somebody to fill in, please let me know. And they said, hey, you need somebody for the group one? I was like, sure, I had no problem. I know how, I know, Del Val. I know a little bit about Paulsboro. So they let me kind of sit in and call it. The replay's up online if you want to check it out, give me some feedback. I called it on my own. It was fun, but kind of came down to where I thought it was when they started. They started at 2:15, and Garrett, Tettemer, and Coach Fitz were gracious enough to give me some interview time after the match, and let's go to those right now.
I know you probably answered these questions 1,000 times, but just talk about the feeling of this, because you come home, you had to sit, you do everything. You guys have kind of clicked since you've been back in the lineup, beating some really big schools. Just the feeling, because it kind of changed the perception about the team this year.
Yeah, it was very big when we started dropping weights. When I finally came back in the lineup, Jake Taylor dropped to 13, and everyone just started clicking in their spots, and it really helped. Everyone came out more powerful and everything.
Now, you came out. I noticed something I'm not sure other people noticed. What were you wearing when you came out? Because it looked like you had an old school Del Val robe.
An old school Del Val robe that they used to run out in, yes, during our warm-up.
Was that something your dad used to wear, kind of inspired you? Because you came out and look, you were like, I'm done with this. Like, we're back and forth with Paulsboro. I'm finishing this, because you seem to be fired up getting on them.
I was ready to go today.
Now, you guys are out here. You guys take a quick lead. You battle back. They kind of start coming around, trading pins, Colasardo with them, with Anata. What was going through you guys' head? Because you guys knew you still had the lead, but they couldn't give up the bonus points. Yeah. We expected big pins from you. We expected Colasardo. We expected those. Talk about some of those other teammates in the lineup who didn't give up the points that people thought they would. Those toss-up matches where they kept it close. Kind of what they meant for you guys.
I'm trying to think who lost. Like Jake Taylor, bringing that back to a 4-6 decision was major for us too. Even though it was a toss-up either which way, but he held in even though he got put to his back for 5 points and came back and only lost by 2, which is good.
That was the big thing we were talking about. I called it on the NJ.com one. It was a huge thing for him to come back and cut that and make sure to limit it. Now, you guys, like I said, Daddy, you guys are hitting your weight. How do you feel you guys match up with a lot of the other teams? You're the Group 1 champion. How do you feel that you would hang with a lot of these? Because you've beaten some of these other teams that have been down here, and some of the ones you may have lost to earlier now that you're back in the lineup. How do you guys feel you rank in New Jersey?
I think we rank pretty high, like top 9. We compete. We actually try hard. We stick with everything.
Now, your family's from here. You said this is your hometown. You come back. You're a senior. You obviously have other goals, so I understand there's more coming up next week. But how does it feel knowing that we talked about in the beginning, your dad's name is on that wall? Mm-hmm. Now you're going to join that group. How does that feel for you?
Feels very good. I can't wait. That's why I hope I place high in states.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Coach. Talk a little bit about this. I know every time I talk to you in the beginning of the season, you have a goal. You guys wound up achieving that goal. Just how you're feeling right now.
Last year, as I've said a lot of times, kind of snuck up on us. We didn't realize how good we were until about midway through the year, and we just got better and better and better, and we're able to overcome a 1-point loss to Kittatinny. This year was a much different vibe, where we have most of the kids back from last year's team, and plus we got Garrett Tettemer back. We knew how good we could be, and it was all about getting the job done. We let a couple dual meets along the way slip away from us for one reason or another. Once we had those Warren Hills and Peaburg wins, we knew what we were capable of. The kids bought in, did all they could, and they got the job done today. In some ways, it's more of a sense of relief in jubilation, although the program's very happy right now. Very happy.
Second in a row, and we talked about this season. It almost was a tale of two seasons because you kind of started off, there were some matches I was like, wait a minute, where were you really at? And then when Garrett finally got in the lineup, it seemed everybody fell in their slot, and you seemed like a completely different squad.
We were a totally different squad. Not only did we get Garrett in halfway through the season, but we pulled all of our lightweights down. And the whole team was just a different vibe at that point. The kids believe in themselves. They're very confident. They have a lot of, I'll call it confidence and bravado, and I don't mean that in any sort of negative way. They just believe in themselves. They believe in their teammates. And when one kid falters, the next kid steps up. That kind of happened tonight. We let a couple matches slip away from us that I thought we'd win. And then other kids stepped up and got the job done, and here we are, second title in a row.
Now, speaking of one of those kids, you look like a Taylor. He's down big. He gives up some points, fights back, and makes that a regular decision loss. How big was that for you guys, for him to cut those bonus points and make it?
Well, it's huge. We have a mantra, win big and lose small. If you're going to lose, make sure you only give up the decision, not the major or the pin. If you could win and get bonus, you go ahead and do it. So for him to fight off his back and only give up a decision there, obviously that was huge.
Now, obviously, the joke I was just hearing before, parents are already calling for a three-peat. I might have to call Pat Riley, see if you can get it licensed. It's an officially licensed thing. You obviously have individual stuff coming up. When do you guys kind of start focusing on that team aspect next year? Because I know you got some individuals.
We do a lot in the off season. We're as busy as anybody out there, and we have some plans, and we're getting the word out. But right now, we're going to celebrate. We're going to turn our attention in getting as many kids as we can as deep into the postseason as possible. And then we start thinking about next year. And like I always say, being as good as you can be. It happens to be state champs the last 2 years. Doesn't always go that way, but any team that reaches their potential, you're proud of.
Great job, Delval. Totally different team from the beginning of the year when Tettemer wound up getting in the lineup. Just completely shifted everybody, especially as Coach Fitz had said, where everybody kind of slotted down, and it made that lineup really strong. And amazing end to amazing year. And you couldn't ask. Coach Fitz is always great with a quote, and always good to say hello and everything. So I'm really happy for Delval. Now we're going to go to our shocker. I mean, for people who don't pay attention, I kind of thought there was a possibility just the way it matched up, and thought they're on a roll. St. Joe Montvalle beat Delbarton in one of the best matches I've seen. And you want to talk about some even matches. There's late stalling calls. There was state champions getting beaten over. There was just a lot of action in this match, and a lot of things went the right way for St. Joe Montvalle. Congratulations to them. I got a chance to catch up with a couple of their wrestlers afterwards. Jimmy Mullen, who had a quick pin in 20 seconds over a really good wrestler in Connor Martin to start the match. And the man who clinched it, Michael Dellagatta, the senior, both of them seniors, got a major decision at 190. It was going in tied, and just a really, really emotional moment for him, seeing them, and for these seniors to kind of walk out. And I got a chance to talk to them real quick, and here's my interviews with them.
We'll start it over. You've had the individual success. We know that. This team, talk about what this means to you, especially in your senior year, to come out and beat two really good teams and walk away as the best.
Those are two nationally known programs, and I think we just put ourselves out there to be one of the top 10 teams in the country that everyone's going to be hunting for next year. I mean, I won't be here, but I know I have a lot of freshmen and sophomores that are going to be leading that team next year, and it's just a whole team effort. I mean, you have 14 kids deep of going out there and wrestling tough. Doesn't matter if they were supposed to get pinned, they're supposed to be getting majored in the articles or whatever. I don't care. They all went out there and wrestled tough. You see kids like Mateus Mullen going to wrestle for his team, getting that takedown in overtime. You don't see kids like Jimmy Sloan, you're about to get majored, he turns around and gets the team pin. He does it for the team. That's how you're supposed to do it. And I can't be so more proud of these guys.
Now, obviously, you guys have bigger aspects individually going forward, but you were yelling no school tomorrow. They canceled school on your word, or they don't know yet?
There is no shot we have school tomorrow. Mr. Fazio, new president of the school, just canceled school for us tomorrow.
Perfect. Best of luck, and go Chiefs. First of all, congratulations. Talk about this. You obviously, and you, Jimmy, seeing you guys last year, you knew you wanted to go out and go big on your senior year, and you guys wanted the shot. You're in a tough, brutal section with a Bergen Catholic, with a Delbarton. You beat Bergen twice, you beat Delbarton here. You get the deciding, win. talk about that and just to see, your feelings right now.
See, that's where my thought kind of differentiates from everybody else. We're in the room yesterday, and they already won. It's just St. Joe's Montvalle. That's we're rolling through them. After what they did to Paramus Catholic, it's just we sat in the room yesterday and said, why not us? Why not us? I mean, we work harder than everybody, and I say it for a fact. I know how these guys work. We push each other. It's a family, and you can see what family is. That's family, resting for each other. You look up every match. You look up, there it is. They're looking at me. I'm looking at them. We believe in me. That only one more hard period, 2 more hard periods, the whole match. Let's give it to me. I'm doing it for them. They did it for me. Why can't I reciprocate?
Now, you guys celebrate at the end, and the emotion kind of hits you. You're there. They pick you up. They bring you in because, you are one of the vocal leaders of the team. So's Jimmy. There's other quiet ones, but you guys are the most vocal. For you guys to be the point to this and stamp your mark on probably one of the greatest seasons in your school history, that ultimate goal.
They're calling it before our duel. They were saying we're wrestling the greatest team ever. I mean, they lost to Blair. Blair's great, but they were saying that's what they are, and we're not going to touch them. They're number 4 and 3 in the country, and we're just not there. I heard they're winning the next state title for 7 next years. When I talk to these guys, it's just everything I do is for them. Everything they do is for me. It's a brotherhood. It's family. Like when I say that this is family, I don't mean anything else. But I wake up in the morning and and if I'm going to work out, one of them texts me, "Hey, let's get to work out before school. Let's get to work out after school, after practice. Let's go to another practice. Let's go get another run." It's just the amount of work that we put in together. Just it's just so mind-boggling. It's just something you can't really. You won't believe me that I'm saying it, but it's what happens. And these guys, everything, win, loss, it's incredible. I'm out of breath. I haven't even got a second to breathe, sit down. I'm exhausted.
Now, you guys, obviously, you're graduating, Mullen's graduating, but you have a really great group of freshmen and sophomores. Just that group and setting them up for the success, because now they're you broken through that glass ceiling going forward.
Sammy did it for us. Me and Jimmy did it for them. They're going to be better than us. I hope every kid on the team does better than I do. I want them all to be better than me. I want it to get better and better and better and better, and they're all going to be better than me. They all are better than me. That's how it works. I can't wait to see what they do for the next few years. While I'm at college, at Cornell, the Big Red, I can't wait.
I also got a chance to catch up with Coach Bryan Stoll afterwards. Usually a lot of coaches or wrestlers don't want to talk after the loss. So a lot of times when you see me do my state tournament wrap-ups, there's not a lot of talk with the second place winners because they're emotionally upset with what happened. So, but Coach Stoll was gracious enough to take a few moments with me and, as a part of Media Scrum, and I got a chance to just get a couple words about what he was feeling about how his team did and how they did. So this is my interview with Coach Stoll.
I just want to get your thoughts. Talk about this team. I know it's a heartbreaking loss, just this squad and what they've done this year.
Yeah, we got a great team, and they're not done yet. We got the 3 most important weeks of the season left. So this is obviously a big deal for us, and we'll recover from it. And I think you'll see a better team in Atlantic City because of this.
Now, some of the matchups obviously went their way. It could have been either way. So it's not like just how they wrestled against you guys, and because you guys have been in that position in the past where you were going and you had to get over that Bergen Catholic hurdle. Now they had to get over just kind of how the similarities you see between this team this year and some of yours in the past.
Yeah, I mean they were hungry, and they out hustled us in some positions, and at the end of the day, we lost.
Now,
better than time.
that would have been fun. Everybody walking off trying to figure it out. Obviously, we've discussed this before in the past. Your guys' goals is individual goals, and the team stuff is kind of second. It comes together because of the individual stuff. Just with this, when you get everything set up, obviously Vasquez losing a tough one. I mean, obviously he's going to recover. He's a state champion. Just these guys and getting their mindset passes, getting them ready for that front.
They're ready. What we talk about in the room, we talk about this very little. To be honest with you, we always talk about Atlantic City and what we're going to do in Atlantic City. So obviously the kids are going to be upset, and they're going to be hurt, and they're going to wake up tomorrow and want to get back to work so that they can achieve their goals, which are, in March.
Now you mentioned, being more individual first, less than team.
Yeah,
but
well, it's not that it's individual first; it's that we focus on it.
Right.
And that's always kind of been our focus is to get as many guys on the podium, or get as many guys there, get as many guys on the podium, get as many guys to the finals, get as many guys as we can to the top of the podium. This does not hurt that; it doesn't take that away from us, and our main goal is still ahead of us. So.
Now you lose a couple of these kids, but a lot are coming back. So I guess the feeling knowing that you're going to get this chance again is
it's not easy. You look at that bracket. That's got to be the toughest bracket in New Jersey history. So and those teams aren't going anywhere. St. Peter's Prep has got one senior in their lineup, and these guys will reload again next year. Right. So it's going to take a lot of hard work, and we're ready to put it in. So
thank you so much to everybody who tuned into the Group 1 coverage on NJ.com and all the coaches and wrestlers who gave me, a moment of their time, either in a win or defeat. So you guys are a big part of what makes it happen here, with what I do. I'd just be talking to randomly nobody if you guys weren't equally willing to talk some time and kind of explain your thought process and give our viewers and listeners just kind of an insight of what we do on the mat and stuff. And I'm glad that, I can relay it, and I've earned your guys' trust in doing that, going forward. Speaking of going forward, the team aspect is now over. I should have the rest of the site updated. Waiting on a couple random scores here and there and just making sure, because, the last week of the season, if a team didn't qualify for something, it's always random pickups of different matches. So making sure I have everybody marked down and such, and you'll always get those random, matchups where somebody picks something up on a Saturday and such. So working on that this weekend. We're going to be doing two districts. James Clark's going to be on the call up at Kittatinny. He's going to be handling that. I think that's District 3, if I remember correctly. So he's going to be doing that. I am going to be on the call in Roxbury, and we'll be up there doing that. And that is going to be, I think the finals are going to most likely, obviously they can't pinpoint the time. I would kind of just start looking around about 2:30. It'll depend on how everything goes with the early matches, but that's District 7. So I'll be calling the finals there. May have a guest sitting in with me, haven't confirmed or anything yet, but it'll most likely me be calling that solo. And then as of right now, we're looking at Region 1 up in West Milford. We'll be handling that, on the 25th. And then we're going to be doing our stuff down in Atlantic City. For Atlantic City, we're going to have nightly wrap-ups, kind of just talking about everything. Thursday, Friday, we'll kind of discuss who, advance, any surprises, any major upsets, anything like that. And then my goal, as we said, sometimes the goals don't get met. My goal on Saturday is to get a video interview with every medalist and champions, obviously. If we have enough champions, we'll do like we did last year and the year before. We had separate medalists and champion live videos, but maybe we'll, put them all together. I'm going to see if maybe, especially for anybody who wins champion-wise, of recording the match and putting the interview, sort of like we did with the county. So we'll see as we get closer there. Speaking of Districts 2 as well, I'm going to do my predictions. I should have them up by Friday. I'm just waiting to get I think everything's going to get, seated here in the next couple days. I've been told the deadline for some of them is Thursday. I'm hoping it's Tuesday or Wednesday because some of them get them done early. I'm going to attempt. This is going to be a new attempt for me. I'm going to try this. Obviously, the ones with a lot of Morris, Hunterdon, Warren, Sussex teams, etc. I am going to predict. I'll predict first place. I'm not going to go crazy, with districts. Now that we're in Passaic, I'm going to do the same thing. So I might be pretty much freaking almost every district, except for when you get down to like District 21, if that's correct. Actually, I think even Hunterdon Central's in District 20, if I remember, unless they've been So I'm pretty much predicting District 1 through 20. So don't hold it against me if I don't know a random kid from somewhere, but I should have those up. And then come next week, Monday, I'll do my Monday, Tuesday, I'll do my how did I do? I'm always trying to be held accountable, and, we'll go from there. But listen, it's been a long weekend, rare Sunday covering wrestling for me. Got Valentine's Day coming up tomorrow. Got to take the wife out on a nice dinner. It's a nice little way so I don't be one of those old single guys at wrestling. But, she's my rock, and I got to go take care of her. So don't forget, husbands, wrestlers, give your mom, husbands, give your wife, give them a hug, wish them a happy Mother's Day, because trust me, a lot of the stuff we get done as men, especially with wrestling, we would not get done if they weren't the backbone of it. So take the time, go celebrate, get ready for districts. We're going to be there. We'll have the links posted up next day or so. By Wednesday, Thursday, the latest. I'll have my predictions up by Thursday. And join us on the call this weekend. But for Jared, the podcast legend, I'm Donald J. Brower. See you next time.